So I said, Julio, we are pollinators, right? So pollinators, basically 70% of all the food in the world is food because of pollinators.
Yep.
And so ironically, we are human pollinators. But we talked about bees, butterflies, birds, bats. Those are all pollinators. And it just hit me, something with the monarchs. I tried to grow pollinating gardens. And then the monarchs came in. They will only come in off of milkweed. So they will only lay eggs on milkweed. And so it was kind of this weird thing. I started saying, well, why only milkweed? So I started studying them. Found out that 70% of the monarch population has declined. They were saying that it was because of loss of habitat is the primary. And through raising monarchs, I found that in this area, it's not loss of habitat as much as it is. There's something called the tashnid fly, Tachnind fly. And the tashnid fly has a parasitic relationship. It lays its eggs on the caterpillar or on the leaf, and the caterpillar ingests it. And then the larvae live in the caterpillar. The caterpillar's life is 8 to 10 days. The larvae's right at day 8 to 10 basically is at its max point and goes in for the kill for the guts and the brains. And so your caterpillar, who is about to go into a chrysalis, basically dies.
Yeah.
And so we had 100% death because of this tashnid fly of the monarchs. 100% death.
Wow.
It wasn't they say that they can get a bacteria, everything. It was 100%. We're talking hundreds of these caterpillars were dying because of this fly. So I started bringing the caterpillars inside to see if we could raise them inside and get them to chrysalis and become butterflies. And now we have 80% success rate inside. Every once in a while, they will still ingest, because if you don't clean your milkweed, you can't. I mean, there's.
So you have to clean the milkweed.
So I clean the milkweed. And right now I'm in there. Anyway, there's 4 generations of monarchs. The 4th generation is hatching right now. The 4th generation is the migration generation. So this is the most important generation to make sure it lives, because they will go and migrate most likely to Mexico, and they will then reproduce next March, April back here.
Wow.
And so
will they come back here?
And they will come back allegedly. So we'll see, because right now I have 100 caterpillars.
Wow. So your theory is they're going to go down and come back.
And then come back and we'll see. Yeah.
Kind of like what they do in the Santa Barbara I've been to those eucalyptus trees, and they just dominate that area.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they go into migration. So we don't know if ours will leave, but this is the generation that literally lives for 9 months. First, second, and third generation. So first generation gets hatched between March and April, and it goes through. So first, second, and third, they only live 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So, and they don't really know why the 4th generation has this incredible lifespan of 9 months versus 4 to 6
That's crazy.
weeks. Yeah.
There's so much we don't know about things like that.
And so then when you're out on the farm and you start to see all these things, your perspective just changes. You know, like you kind of say friend or foe, right? And what's going on. And then there's, the biodiversity. The reason why the tashnid fly is probably really bad in this area is it was used as a kind of an organic solution to thrips, to different things on avocado and citrus trees. And so
there's a lot of avocados here.
So we're in avocado capital of the world, and we're also in a citrus, pretty dominant citrus area. And so it's likely that the fly was brought in, it has been brought into other places to help control pests for those crops. The problem is the fly doesn't discriminate between the pests on those crops and a monarch caterpillar.
Unforeseen consequences, right?
Yeah, so it's super interesting.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad that you're saving the monarchs.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it became a little project. So I'm at 4th generation, and we're gonna see this thing through.
That's incredible.
I want to know if they come back. It's gonna be how many months? I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna call you.
So March, April is when they come, and if anybody wants to create a monarch sanctuary, all you need is milkweed. They eat other pollen.
Does it need to be native milkweed, or can it be tropical stuff?
It can be any. Okay. It can be any milkweed. They prefer. There's a debate between native and tropical. They think that tropical, because it blooms year round, it might cause the butterfly not to migrate. There's a debate on that. So that's
debatable.
That's debatable. But so they feel that the default is always saying that native is better because native has kind of a seasonal lifespan. But,
and it won't be a food source for them this certain time of year.
yeah. Okay. So we are actually we sell our plant material to a guy who grows for a home center. And we proposed to him, most people can't grow milkweed at a production level because they use pesticides because they want their plants to go into the home centers in pristine conditions. And so any sort of pesticide will kill the monarchs. And so it has to be in a completely pesticide-free environment. So the grower that grows for Home Depot has an organic, completely clean, pristine environment, and he could be one of the only people that could grow milkweed at a mass production. And so that in itself could help the monarch population.
Yeah, I hope he does it.
And it could also help awareness.